This is the Purpose Driven Funnel Show, and today I have got a great show for you. Steve Penny, my business coach, graciously let me record our coaching call in which we talk about how to structure an offer to make $2,000 a month for a client, for each client. And we also talk about the exact structure for a consulting funnel business that gets red hot leads. So grab your pencil and paper and get ready to take some notes. I'm embarking on a journey to grow a successful online business so I can break free from my 9 to 5. The question is, how will I do it? Find out right here on the Purpose Driven Funnel Show, where you will get an insider's view as I interview experts who have succeeded. I'm doing it because my why is bigger than my 9 to 5. Life was meant to be a joy, not a chore. Will you join me? Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/purpose-driven-funnels. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Hey, Steve. How's it going?
Hey, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. Just plugging away, trying to figure out this new business model I'm trying to put together. So that's kind of one thing I wanted to talk to you about too, was, I've been kind of doing first I started with the affiliate stuff, and then I kind of morphed into doing consulting services, like, the ad traffic and stuff, Google ads and Facebook ads and stuff. And so I started with that low dollar offer, to attract people in. But what I realized at doing that, so like that's that $50, introduction order that I'll set up their ads and run them for a couple weeks, and then try to convert them into like a $300 a month account. But I realized that after getting, a client or so, that it's going to take a lot of clients before I'm going to be able to do much of anything. So I've really been trying to put together a new kind of service model, consulting still, and doing the same kind of things, helping, the businesses and people get traffic and help them with their funnels and stuff. I want to target like a $2,000 price tag. So that's what I want to kind of talk to you about, because I'm not really 100% sure on how to best maybe structure it.
Sure. And, first of all, I think that's probably a really wise move. There's a lot of debate within the online marketing community on, where should you start with your first product or service or offering? And a lot of people that I listen to, that I look up to, like Steve Larson and Russell Brunson, people like that often recommend starting in the middle of your value ladder. And I think you had mentioned like something on a $2,000 a month product or service. I think that would fall probably right in the middle of your value ladder. And I think that's probably smart. And then from there, you could send people, to the lower levels of your value ladder for cheaper products, and eventually to even higher ticket product or service eventually. But I think about $2,000 a month is probably a really nice sweet spot to start.
Okay, good. So the thing that I'm kind of struggling with is, I guess, like right now, I think I have a lot of value for the $300 a month that I'm doing. So I'm like, basically for a whole month, I'm running people's ads and constantly tweaking them and trying to improve their performance for 30 days, plus the first month, of course, is all the setup and stuff, but just constantly managing it for 30 days. So how do you think it'd be best how could I add to that to make it a $2,000 ticket? That's part of the struggle that I'm having with it. Or do you just think that, I'm just really underpricing what I'm doing?
Yeah. And so I think what you're asking is how to structure your offer. And again, someone I follow who specializes in that is Steve Larson, and he's kind of the offer guy. And I know I've heard him recommend starting with just getting out a notebook or a whiteboard and just jotting down everything that you could possibly offer. How can you possibly serve your dream client, your ideal customer? And just write everything down. And they call this kind of the wild brainstorming phase. And then from there, just take out the sweet spots, the best things on that list, and structure that as an offer. So, knowing your skills and abilities, Google inside and out. I mean, you're certified in Google, better than 99.9% of the people I've ever met. So, all things Google could be in your offer. All about funnels, how to structure a funnel properly, about copywriting. So those are things that I would think of, and putting that, packaging that in a way, that's going to provide value to your ideal client.
Okay. So basically I need to think about what other services I can add to it. Like you were talking about, like maybe instead of just the ads and doing just that, I say, and I will, I don't know, maybe build or tweak their funnel to help the conversion rate or something like that, to help driving the traffic to their funnel, to the landing page, and then through the funnel. Do you think, is it something like that kind of what you're talking about?
Well, I guess it depends on who is your ideal client. Is it someone who already has a business and has an online marketing system set up already? Because if it's someone there, I think of the majority of businesses out there are just now waking up to the fact that they need a funnel, they need paid advertising, so that they don't really have a system set up. So for that person, I'm thinking I would put an offer together that includes a basic funnel, copywriting, and traffic. And I think easily, if you put those elements together, that's easily worth $2,000 a month.
Okay, yeah. So that's one thing I definitely got to make sure that I do is to really outline who my target audience is, because $2,000 a month is not going to be something that most people just starting out are probably going to be looking at doing, right? So probably looking at somebody, like you said, who already has a business going, but they just don't have maybe the right system in place, or maybe they're not getting the right results. So yeah, that and some of the research I've been doing too, I noticed was a lot of people that they have their own consulting businesses and stuff. Their biggest pain that I'm seeing is they can't get traffic, and they can't get the traffic into their funnel and get it through. So I think that's probably it might be worth $2,000 a month.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who advertise, the ability to send traffic to a website or to a funnel, but it's rare that, I would say from my experience, it's rare that those people actually deliver in a way that, is worth what they charge. So for the few people who are, I mean, it's worth every penny. And, knowing your skills and abilities, I know, you can certainly deliver on that.
So you said that 2,000 be kind of like the middle of the value ladder, and that being the fact that I'll have the lower priced services like I'm offering now. Is that what you're suggesting? Like maybe what I have now is the kind of more bottom rung of this value ladder?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. And it sounds like to me what you're currently offering is on the low end of your value ladder. And then this would be the middle of your value ladder. And then it sounds like phase 3, eventually down the road, would be to come out with, the top of your value ladder, which would be something, higher ticket, probably, several multiples higher than what you're talking about here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm already freaking out just about the $2,000. Like, man, I know that's where I need to go, and I need to target that, because if I don't, I'm never going to escape my job, because I'm not going to be able to take on enough $300 jobs to be able to escape my job, really, because I won't have time. I'll be working more than a full-time job just trying to do that. So,
yeah, I think that. Sorry to jump in. Yeah, but I think that's really smart. I think some of you guys may know I'm a certified partner with software called ClickFunnels. And a lot of folks in that group, it's a really small community, they do this for a living. They build funnels for people. And there's a handful of people in the group, quite a few, that really broke free when they landed one client. I can think of a handful of people who their first client was like $10,000 a month. And once you land one of those, I mean, you're up and running. And it's just a matter of being able to deliver on that and, to be able to, be worth it. But, these skills are so lucrative that, if it's done right, it's going to be worth every penny to the end user, to the customer.
Yeah. So so I guess the next thing that I need to figure out is, do you have any suggestions for maybe how I could craft my funnel for that type of customer?
Yeah, I've got a lot of thoughts. I've got several thoughts on that. So my first, in general, if your offering is going to be over $1,000, maybe $1,500 on the high end, if it's over those numbers, you typically want to go to an application funnel, and that's there's a lot of reasons for that. But that's where I would start. So I would send the prospects to a page where there's probably a short video of you describing, what services you offer, what the package looks like. And then you tell them there's only a limited amount of spots, because obviously you can't take on too many of these because it's going to require a lot of your time. So there's a limited amount of spots, and they fill out an application. And that way you're choosing who you get to work with. Because, if someone's paying you $2,000 a month, you're probably going to be doing a lot of interacting with them. You don't want to, have a long-term customer that you don't work well together. So I would start with an application funnel. That's my thought.
So the application funnel being, like you said, is the landing page is going to have like a video, like introduction, like kind of like a video sales page?
Yeah, exactly. So the goal of that first page is to get them to click the button. They'll submit just the basic information, their name, email address, and probably a phone number. And that takes them to the second page where the application will be. And you make the application, relevant questions that are to your offer. And at the bottom of that, after they finish that page, you typically take them to a third page where they can either schedule a one-on-one consulting call with you or a phone call with you. And that's where you guys will see if it's a good fit. And if so, you make the sale.
Gotcha. So really I'm kind of, we're qualifying them as they go through, so that by the time they get on the phone with me, they're probably, hopefully, if I craft it right, a red hot lead, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the one great thing about an application funnel is it changes the whole psychology of selling. You're not trying to convince them or sell them necessarily. You're deciding if they're a good fit for you. So it often changes the whole psychology. And very often when you get on the phone with people, after they've gone through that process, they're ready to buy. It's just a matter of a conversation to see if it's going to be a good fit personality-wise, and if any last-minute questions they may have.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But I'm guessing that's probably going to lead to a lower conversion rate. Because I guess, like, from what I remember, you talking about before in some of our training, was that everything that the person or the customer coming through a funnel does creates a little more friction for them to continue going, right? So if you have more steps and more things for them to do, then it's less likely they get through the end. But then I guess that's the kind of the point, because if they don't get to the end, they're not probably really interested.
Yeah. So a couple comments on that. Typically, back tests have proven, and, the ClickFunnels folks, Russell Brunson has done a lot of studies on this, and he'll talk about anything over $1,500 a month. It's very difficult to make a sale, without some personal interaction. It's just above that threshold, people want to talk to someone. So it's going to be tough to sell something for $2,000 a month and get the customer to pull out their credit card and pay you that when they haven't spoken to you yet. So the application is a good way to facilitate that. And then as far as creating friction, yeah, I guess there's some truth to that. But once someone has taken the first step, they've given you their name and email address on that first page, they've kind of psychologically committed to the process. So it's very likely they'll go through steps 2 and 3 as well once they've started the process. And that's why on that very first step, you ask for minimal information, just the name and email address and maybe a phone number. And then that way too, you can follow up with them with other offerings on your value ladder. Maybe it doesn't work out for this $2,000 a month offer, but maybe they'll be into your $300 a month offer, and you can follow up, through email or other methods with that.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. So kind of like maybe downsell them if they end up not being a candidate for the $2,000 deal.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, I like that. That sounds like a good plan. So another question I have though is on the landing page. Typically, when somebody gives you their email address, they're opting in for something, right? So is the idea here that they're opting in because they want more information, or should I put out something free that maybe some tips or something, I don't know, that they might want to opt in for in order to get into the funnel?
Yeah, I would say that's something you can experiment with. But so I'm personally building an application funnel right now, in the process of doing that. And we made that first page curiosity based. The sales copy on that first page kind of explains that we do things different, very different than any competitor. But in order to see how we're different and how we're better, you have to go to the second page. So that they call that a curiosity hook. So you kind of hook them to the next step because you make them really curious. So they just want to see what's on the next page.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. And that way I don't have to put together any free offers. So when you do the next page, so they get on the video sales page, the landing page first, they opt in the email page. Sorry, I know I'm kind of beating this to death, but I want to understand it. So they go to the next page, and that's where the application starts, right? Where they start answering like my questions that I'm probably going to think I'm going to be asking questions that will eject them from the process, or am I asking questions that will qualify them for the process? Because in HR, with my day job, I'm usually asking questions to eject people as quickly as possible to find out, weed out the bad apples, so to speak. So I just want to understand that, make sure that I got this part right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you wouldn't have to use these questions exactly, but I would want to know things like, do you currently have an advertising budget for your business? If so, how much? And then you maybe want to qualify that they're in the right frame of mind, like they're thinking about this right. Like maybe a question like, would you be willing to spend $2,000 a month in advertising if it brought in greater than $2,000 in revenue? I mean, that's an obvious yes answer, but some people would say no to that. Like, so if someone's going to say no to that, you don't want anything to do with it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, just some basic questions like that.
That's cool.
And questions like that also kind of are alluding to the fact that you can deliver that kind of value.
Oh, right. Now that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of getting them psychologically in the mindset that, if he's asking that question, that obviously means that he's, he can deliver on that kind of value.
Right. Yeah. No, I like that. I like that approach a lot better than trying to sell somebody, because that's hard enough just at the $300 level. I can only imagine trying to sell somebody on $2,000. That's probably where my hesitation and doubts and fears come in, because I'm thinking about, I need to do that, but I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I hate to sell too. And there's a quote I heard a while back that really stuck with me. It's that people love to buy things, but they hate to be sold to. They love buying things, but they just hate to being sold to. So an application style funnel kind of solves that problem.
Yeah, totally. I can now that I'm thinking about it from the consumer point of view, I mean, like when I'm out there and somebody's trying to sell me on something and it's pretty obvious, I'm like just immediately turned off. I'm like, go away, leave me alone. It may be
Right.
the best thing in the world, but I'm like, I don't want you because you're some kind of slimy dude.
Right.
But then on the other side, now when I'm on there and I guess I have in the past filled out sort of application funnels, um, because I opted in to get some information that I wanted. So, I'm thinking about that. There are a lot of services that you do and you set an appointment for, give us your information kind of thing that makes sense. Like I actually don't stop. I go through the whole funnel.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And we're doing this right now on a Zoom call. And, not to get too in the weeds, but you could structure your funnel in such a way that at the very end, you can have a calendar booking app where they choose a time, you set your availability. And when they choose it, it integrates with Zoom. And now you can have a face-to-face meeting with them through the computer. And, just make it all that more personal and build trust. Because, for a $2,000 a month product or service, they're going to want some, personal rapport with you. And,
Yeah, no doubt. Do you think offering my phone number is valuable?
yeah, I think that's definitely, well, it's probably a good idea. Just because some people won't, they're just not going to do a video call.
Right.
um, so, but I would try and drive them towards the video call as much as possible.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it does make it nice when you can actually see the person that you're talking to. It's almost like the next best thing in face to face.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you're obviously a super honest person, and have a lot of integrity, and that's going to come through, especially if people can see face to face.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I like that one. Cool. I think that helps me kind of get my head around where I need to go. So my copy is probably going to be like on the page, like you said, a curiosity based hook to get them interested to find out, okay, what am I missing or what do I need to know or what do I want to know here?
Yeah, exactly. And if you like, I'm happy to. I've got some templates from some funnels I've built in the past. I'm happy to share one of those with you, or a couple of them with you, just to give you a
Yeah,
place to start.
that'd be awesome. I take all the help I can get. No, I appreciate it. I don't think I had anything else about how to do that, but that's kind of the model. That's where I want to go because, like I said, I just know that what I'm doing now is not going to be sustainable for the long run. So, do you think it's going to take a while though to kind of start ramping that up because it's such a higher ticket item?
Um, well, I guess it depends. Um, do you know how? Have you thought about how you're going to get traffic to this funnel?
Probably going to run ads.
Okay. Yeah, because one of the first things I always talk to people about when they build a funnel is, how much is a client worth to you? So the answer should be pretty basic on this one. I mean, since you don't have data to go back and see the lifetime value of a customer, it makes it more difficult to determine how much you're willing to spend in ads to acquire one new customer.
Right.
Because that's the first question you want to ask yourself before you start spending money on ads is how much money can I spend to get one new customer? So I would say it depends on how much you're willing to spend on ads or risk on ads in the beginning to determine how fast it's going to take off.
That makes sense. So, okay. Yeah. Well, and the other thing too, that like how I got the client that I've got now, I actually just went on like Facebook groups and stuff like that and started engaging in different groups where my ideal clients hang out and just kind of answering questions and participating in conversations and stuff. And literally like there was this group that I was involved in that, like every week on a certain day, they'd be like, okay, throw out your, best like promo offer or whatever. And that's when I threw out the $50 deal for the first time. And somebody's like, I'll take it. I'm like, uh-oh, I didn't expect that. What do I do now?
So I'll give you one idea too. if you're tight on, if you don't really want to risk a lot of money on ad spend, and it depends who your ideal customer is, but if you are willing to work with brick and mortar businesses in your local area, here's an idea and I've heard of someone do this successfully, and I've thought about doing it myself. You could build a funnel for that business, for a certain type of business. Let's just throw it out there. Let's say your ideal customer was a gym owner. You could build a generic gym owner funnel and just drive around to all the gyms in your area. And before you go in and talk to the manager or the owner, just go to their website, pull in the parking lot, and then hook up on the internet and plug in their logos onto the funnel. And then you can walk in and, hopefully, they'd be willing to give you a few minutes. You can kind of show them what the funnel would look like for them. And, how many, let's just say that was your ideal client. How many gyms are in your area? Maybe 100.
Yeah, no doubt.
You go to 100 of them. I mean, it might take going to 100 before you land one, but, for $2,000 a month and your first one, that's an idea too.
Yeah, that's a good point, because they're obviously have a big investment if they're got a brick and mortar store, so they're probably not scared of a $2,000 a month marketing budget.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. No, I appreciate that. Definitely, I'll take all the free ways I can get. Yeah, I mean, I like, running ads is pretty quick and pretty easy, and if you do it right, I can get a pretty low, usually $1, even less than $1 per click. But still, it's still money I gotta spend. I have to be careful that I don't spend too much trying to get that first person. So maybe I'll try to hit the pavement and hit the groups and stuff and see if I can see how it goes trying to land one without running ads first, but kind of get my ads ready for my backup plan and maybe give that a test too.
Oh, that would be a home run if you could land your first client without having to spend any money on ads. Because now you'll have money to work with. Now you can take that $2,000 a month from your first client and invest that into ads, and at least you're not pulling out of your own personal funds.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I like that plan. That would be amazing. That'd be like oh my gosh, man, like a dream to land a $2,000 client. That'd be awesome.
That's what I've done with all the affiliate programs I've done, the handful anyway. I always got my first couple of referrals by word of mouth. And then once I got that, now I have income. And that's the money I took to use to put into ads to see if it was if it was viable to put $1 in ads and get more than $1 back. I wasn't risking my own money because I got my first customers by word of mouth.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to strive for that. Cool. Well, I'll definitely keep you up to date on how that's going, and maybe we can meet again and we'll talk a little bit about like the progress and how things have been going. So I'm going to try to go back and really put it down on paper, outline the customer, the ideal customer, so I'm crystal clear on who it is, and then kind of outline like the funnel steps like you were talking about, and kind of put in some maybe ideas for like copy and stuff so I can get a good picture of what's going on, and then I think I'll start building it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I can't wait to see how this turns out. I really think this is you're going to get a couple of clients with this, and can't wait to see how it turns out.
That makes two of us. All right, Steve. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate your time, and we'll catch up again.
All right. Thanks so much, Sean.
Well, I really hope you enjoyed today's show. If you haven't done so already, head on over to purposedrivenfunnels.com, my show's webpage, and sign up for the email newsletter there, because I put out exclusive content there that nobody else sees, things that I'm working on to really get the inside information on the show and my business and what's going on there. And I want to help you guys with your business as well. So go ahead and sign up for my email newsletter if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you on the VIP list.
And if you really did enjoy today's show, I'd really appreciate it if you would share it with somebody else that you think might get some value out of it as well. There are multiple platforms the show is available on to make it easy for you to share, from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Castbox, Pocket Casts, and even Google Podcasts and Stitcher. So please take a moment to share this episode with somebody that you think might be interested. And until next time, I'm wishing you success on your purpose-driven funnels journey too. God bless.